You're laughing. I come to the right place then.
Man, I barely made it.
No, you didn't. Nobody would know that.
Yeah.
Nobody would know.
I was just letting you know. I barely made it.
I know, and I barely started it right. As soon as I saw you pop in, I looked and I was like, oh no. 5 seconds. Click, click, click. Let's go.
Yeah.
So hello.
Brother, you made it. That's the most important part.
There you go. There you go. By the way, hello everybody. Welcome to the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. Before we get started, I've been drinking tea lately. So I was talking to the guys and I'm drinking this yogi tea because it helps your mood and it helps you out. So we're all about helping people, right? So I figure what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on here every week and I'm going to read you guys the little saying on my yogi tea. So if you've had yogi tea before, you know they got sayings on them. And they're really crazy because the one today says, appreciate yourself and honor your soul. I think that's a lot of what we say to everybody every time we come on here, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Appreciate yourself and honor your soul. That's what you said?
Yeah, appreciate yourself and honor your soul. Shout out to Yogi T. There you go.
Yeah. Shout out to Yogi T because he drinks it and they don't pay you for it, but you love it.
Yeah, well, not saying that I'm against it. So if, he wants to reach out,
Yogi, where you at?
There you go. So what's going on, everybody? How's it been? Lots of stuff going on in the last week.
Man, I don't even know where to start. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
All good stuff, but still a long week. What about you, Al? Why are you looking all morose?
I'm just chilling, dude. Nothing. I mean, I was watching some videos today of there was an Air Force gentleman who was shot and killed in Okaloosa County, which is down the street from us. And I watched they released the webcam video. I was kind of on the fence at first. I was like, that sounds crazy. On social media, people post shit. You're like, oh, like that's crazy. Like they made it sound like the police kicked in the wrong door and they shot some innocent. But like, I guess there was a domestic disturbance call. So it was crazy. Like I had read up on it. I was like, that seems nuts. I feel bad. And like, rest in peace, to this airman. Like it was crazy. But when you look at it, and I'm still on the fence because if you watch the body cam footage, the sheriff's department, I guess they were having a domestic disturbance and like they beat on this. I mean, they beat on the door. We're like, they announced themselves very loudly and a million times. And then like the dude answers the door and like, all you hear is like, I mean, it's seconds, like gun shots, like the cop just opens fire. And I told him, I was like, the gentleman did answer the door with a gun, but my opinion was like, I don't know. Like I didn't, it was so quick, but I didn't see this dude like point, like that was never like drop the gun. Like, I don't know if the dude pointed it, but it was like, when I say fast, like all I heard was like, he's like, please step back. And then all it says like, do, shots fired. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he hit him 6 times, like from me to my computer screen. It was crazy. So I guess we'll see. I'm sure it'll be.
Yeah, but body cam footage is like the rear mirror in your car. Objects are always closer than they appear. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not blaming one time. I'm just kind of like I'm still kind of on the fence because like it was.
Yeah.
I mean, if I've answered my door and depending on what time it is, like middle of the day. But like at nighttime, if somebody's knocking at my door, nobody's supposed to be knocking at I'll come to the door with a handgun, right? But if I hear like sheriff's department, like I'm probably not coming to the door with a handgun.
You're
like
there you go.
It's just sad because obviously he's a service member and no matter what the situation is, we lost a service member.
Yeah.
But he was an airman well before his time, obviously. So what up, Kevin?
I didn't hear all this. I didn't hear that story, but I would want to know because it matters to me. I presume it matters to you guys too. But what color was he?
Oh, he's black. The cop was white.
I don't know. I just seem to notice a repeated thing that happens when it comes to that. Not to put everything as a race thing, but I just see that it happens more so for us than everybody else when it comes to those kind of things, man. It's like the gun comes out really fast.
So my question, Scott, I'm glad you brought that up, because my question would be, is that and it is obviously it happens, right? But is that the picture that the media wants us to see, right? Is it more publicized when it's white on black, or it could be a black cop on a black individual, right? Is it more publicized because I'm a research guy too, right? So I do a lot of research and numbers and statistics, right? It happens in other cultures as well, right? Hispanic cultures, white cultures. There's a lot of it happens. Police shootings happen all over the country on a regular basis for whatever. But I wonder if the media, and for me, right, and I feel like the media wants Alan Scott to be at odds, right, or to divide us, right? Because if we're divided, and then we have a blind eye to what's really going on in the world around us, and really what's important, and really what matters. And then all of a sudden we're divided on these issues, and now we're divided on political issues, and then we're divided on other issues. And before you know it, it's me against you instead of us against the system, or us against the bigger problem, right? So I'd love to get your take on
it. For me, I mean, I just feel like just myself growing up in it, right? I just feel like even though what the media says or what they don't say, to me, it just seems like there is a big disparity on how it comes when it comes to law enforcement, and how it comes to young black youth versus young white youth. And I'm not to say that I say that to say that everyone is racist or everyone has that intent. I just think that it just seems, like I said, growing up in it, it just seems like there is a big difference on how the world perceives young black men versus young white men in certain instances. And I would say this to say, right, even for myself, there's places that I go where I can see a group of black men and I'm not going to feel comfortable, because again, when you look at gangs, you know what I'm saying? When you look at gangs and stuff like that, predominantly you have Hispanic gangs and black gangs. What you see when you see the gang aspect of it, right? And being in a neighborhood or in a culture, right? So if I live in a white neighborhood, I don't feel like something's going to happen to me if I walk around in that neighborhood, right? But yourself, if you live in a predominantly black neighborhood, you probably would feel a kind of way if you saw it. And that's not saying because you're racist or anything else. It's just because of the perception, right? And a lot of it, I feel like we do to ourselves, right? Because I'm not going to say that being a young black man, that all black men are innocent. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that, because I know some thuggish, ruggish black guys that are dangerous no matter how you approach him, right? But I think that is what is pushed out in the media, is that rap music now is all about, what's being promoted is kill you, shoot you with this, go in your house, twerk it, bust it open, right?
Yeah.
That's how the world is pushed to perceive us.
Yeah.
Right? When you see the big gold chains and the big old wads of money with the tennis shoes and the tight jeans and the big old hoodies and the braids and all that, when you see that, it might make you feel a kind of way, right?
Right. 100%.
So that's why I said, but when I hear these things, man, and just the stuff that I've seen, and to your point, Al, maybe it's because the media puts it out and that's what they show. Right? Because then it keeps the divide. But when you look at it, the stuff that you've seen, it just seems, based off of you guys, and I'm going to ask you guys that.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel like it's more of that happening to people like myself, or is it, do you see it even the other way around?
So I think you're absolutely right. I think we see it more. And that was kind of my initial point, right? It's put out more because, right, they don't show. They're not going to. There's stories in the newspaper. We watch the news every morning. I don't care about the news. My wife watches the news, and there's stories that you hear, like, a kid is beat up by a group of black kids, or a black kid's beat up by a group of white kids, or whatever. You got all these crazy stuff going on, but it's a very short segment, right? It's kind of like, oh, that's that's a short brief news. But then I feel like in order to like I said, to keep us divided against each other, I think that they do, and I think it's to play on the fact that you as a black man in America, I almost feel like the country, the government, the media, whoever it is, wants you to fear, right, the community, to fear law enforcement, which I'm not saying you do, but I feel like the agenda and the narrative is to keep us divided however they can do it. And because, when's the last time we've watched the news or there was a big story about a Hispanic male, and I got a Hispanic family, right, who was shot and killed by the cops, or a white male, and they're white meth addict crackhead who gets shot and killed by the cops. It doesn't really make the news because we're all going to be like, he's a crackhead, probably should have been shot, right? So I feel like in this instant, even if it's, like you said, even if it's not a race issue, I feel like the media is going to push that and make it a race issue, and it could have been, right? I don't know. I wasn't there. But I feel like the media is going to push that to keep Scott and Al divided, which we're not. We're brothers, and me and you can have, and like Gary Walker, same way. Me and him have had in-depth, long conversations about race, about BLM, about everything, and we're a lot of times on the complete opposite end of the spectrum on our feelings. But we get, and Matt's smiling because he was privy to one of those.
I'm reading that paramedic comment at the bottom. He goes, "Not me. I'm a paramedic, and white men are always doing stupid shit."
Yes, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I feel like in today's society, right? Because you mentioned it, and I'm sure Ty did too. I grew up on the west side of Jacksonville. Spent 12, 13 years of the majority of my life there, and I lived in predominantly black areas. Right? We moved to Columbus, Georgia. We lived off of on the south side, off of Exit 3, Buena Vista Road. I went to a predominantly black school. I was one of 4 white kids in my entire high school at George Washington Carver, but I never had any problems. Like the black community in that school didn't treat me any different, right? I played sports, I ran track. I wasn't the fastest on the team, if you get my drift, right? But I ran track, I wrestled, and never had any problems, right? I grew up in an era, probably same as Matt, all of us, right? We grew up in a time where racism and racial issues were prevalent back then. But I feel like maybe the way we grew up, like we seen it, but it didn't really affect me. Like I seen it, but maybe it didn't hit home all the time because nobody treated me like when I have treated anybody else.
But I mean,
right. So I think nowadays in today's world, right, it is very prevalent because I think that as soon as it happens, it's like, oh yeah, now we can cause some more problems. We can cause.
No, I think what you really got to look at, though, the issue a lot of times is this is what happens. You want to have an easy conversation about something that's difficult to talk about. So we're going to do that. And when you start having that conversation, the problem is we're all people. And because we're all people, you can go cultural, racial, whatever you want to do. We all have our own heritage, right? So if you start to challenge somebody's heritage, cultural traditions, or like their perception of what they see, because if you've grown up seeing one thing, then that's how it is. And then if you see this thing, that's how it is. Kind of like when you talk to people about PTSD, the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's happened to you.
Right.
And it may not be the worst thing that we've ever seen, but you can't judge people off that. So the problem is that division comes because we just can't sit down and talk about it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people have the same opinion on both sides, but here's what happens. They're going to show you what's going to have you come on and say what you did today. And so because they showed you that, that's all you get.
That's all you get.
So unless you want to go research it, find it, talk about it, do it. Me and Scott know about an incident that happened in Houston directly, almost exactly like that. Difference though, car chase, broad daylight, shots, like all kinds of stuff. And we were like, what the, right? You just don't know. But at the end of the day, I think the thing that needs to happen is people have to be more open to have conversations, right? You can't have conversations if you're not willing to be face-to-face to people either. Right. So that's the other part that comes through.
You can't have a conversation if you're not willing to listen, right?
Well, that's the thing.
I can scream and yell and push whatever my opinion is, but if I'm not willing to shut my mouth, open my ears and listen to somebody else's perspective or why they feel the way they feel, there's never a communication. And I think, Matt, that leads into the world we grew up. We all grew up in a certain environment, in a different world, right? But then we all joined the military, and then all of a sudden, for us, let's be honest, that shit happens in the military too. Like people are ignorant. That shit you can't fix stupid, right? That's just what it is. But I think having a military background and growing up and fighting in combat and fighting in war zones and going on ship deployments with people from, like, I mean, we had guys that were from like Jamaica and Africa and Cambodia and damn, you name it, right? The Philippines. Like we were able to even some of like this, the way the stuff I grew up with family members, like teaching us, whatever that some ignorant values, right? On all sides.
Sure.
Everybody's family, for all, somebody in my family, I'm like, all white people are bad and they're going to kill you and steal your rims. And Scott might have grew up with people who are like, all white people are racist and they're good. But we got into an environment where for us, the only color that mattered was OD green, essentially, right? Or navy blue, right? We didn't get at that.
Yeah.
You almost they push that part of your thought process out, because now I'm standing arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder with a Scott Blake or a Ty Cobb, and we're in a stressful situation, and it's my job to get him home to his family and me. So I think I always say it: if the world, if the government, if politics could look at and act the way we did while we were in uniform, and could have conversations and could treat each other like we did while we were in uniform and now as we do as veterans, things would be so dramatically different.
Yeah, I mean, but you're gonna have that you're still gonna have that opinion. The opinion's where it comes through. You really want to know how we can fix the world and get along? My opinion, just go to a playground and look at a whole bunch of little kids playing.
Yeah.
Little kids that haven't grown up.
About that.
I'm not allowed 100 feet of a playground, but I get your point. Like, I'm not allowed.
This candy tastes good. We're out playing this game. These kids are running around and they're talking to each other, and none of them care about anything except what they're doing in the moment. Right. But something happens where people grow up and they go through, and again, it's like you're in your tribe or your family, your cultural back, all this stuff. And the problem too is sometimes people on both sides don't care to understand or learn about history, what's behind that, right? Like, I'll tell you right now, my son has had conversations with people that we know, and he's asked them questions. Like, I don't understand that. Can you explain it to me? And it could be anything. It's something that someone's gone through. And I feel fortunate enough that I've got friends that would sit down and go, well, this is how that works.
Matt, sorry to stop you for a minute. I want to let Nathan see Nathan's shirt.
Oh, look at that.
Didn't your daughter design this back in the day?
Not that one. That wasn't the one. She had the one with the voodoo skull on it.
Yeah.
But that's an OG shirt. Look at him.
Go back, baby.
He has to wear the black shirt so that the mechanic grease doesn't show on when he comes home.
Yeah. He's like a homeless Amish kid.
Shout out to my Denise, sister Denise, stands in the building.
Nice.
That's one of my favorite sisters out there. So shout out to her. But Matt, what you were saying was important, and I think I want to just circle back on it a little bit. Like you said, when you say you fix things, if you really look at it and put things into perspective for what they really are, if you took, I think me and you talked about it while we were eating.
Yeah.
If you took an Asian kid, you know what I'm saying? If you took a black kid, a white kid, a Hispanic kid, wherever they're from, Russia.
The Asian kid's going to be way better at math. I just want to throw it out there right now, Scott. That Asian kid's going to outdo all those other kids in mathematics.
Yeah.
Just want to put it out there.
You put them inside of in a room, like you said, kids, and they got candy, they got pizza, they got games, they got everything, and they're just trying to figure things out, right? Without no parent influence, no friend influence, it would be wonderful. They would teach each other things. They would learn from each other. Nobody would care about statistically. I'm supposed to be faster, like Al just said. Statistically, I'm supposed to be smarter because I'm Asian. None of that stuff matters. It's just that at the end of the day, we're growing up from zero in this world trying to figure it out.
For sure. I think that's a good point, because if you look at it that way, we need to get back to that, right? Because again, if you want your kids to learn something, don't let them watch the TV. Right. Because all the TV is going to show you is that people are bad. This is bad. That's bad. What you should do is take your kids out, like let them go outside and play. Right. Like, but that's the point, is even in the military, regardless of what you think, you have to get the job done. So a lot of times, even if you do or don't feel that way about something, it's not something that you're going to like put out there all the time. You're just going to go get the job done. But there's still times. I mean, you still see it in the military. You see it everywhere you go. You have your groups of people. Yeah.
It's everywhere. Like you say, racism, bottom line, racism is a learned behavior. You know what I mean? You're not born that way. So people say that they're born that way. That's wrong. It's a learned behavior. You know what I mean? Right. If somebody tells you all your life that these people are that and these people are this, that's what you're going to know until life makes you see things different. Right. And that's just it. But to the point where we were in the beginning, from my eyes, and that's why I'm not saying that my eyes are the only right eyes. I'm just saying from my eyes, the way I see it and what I've been through in my life, being a black man coming up in this world, I have seen it firsthand. I have had it physically done on me, and I see it on TV, and I see it all around. And going back to what we were saying, when you see it like that so much, and even if it's only the media that shows it to you, it makes you feel the kind of way because that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I said it. For me, my problem is the media, right? Because I really feel like that their goal is to, like I said, to make Alan Scott be divided.
I think
it's true, Matt. You say what you want.
I don't think it's that simple. Yeah. It's not that simple.
Well, no. There's a lot of political agenda involved and a lot of other stuff. But I'm saying just base grassroots. I think because if they can keep me and Scott divided and where we can't have a conversation and we can't see each other's sides and come to an agreement, then that's all. Like I said, that's all. Like Scott said, he sees it. He's seen it so much growing up. He's seen it so much in the media that he feels a certain way. So I feel like that's like step one. If we can get all of us feeling a certain way, and now we don't want to communicate, right? Because communication for me has always been the key. If I don't have to grow up and see and been where Scott's been. He don't have to be where I've been. But if me and him can sit down like two loving human beings and have an educated conversation and listen to each other's points and have a talk, right? Maybe something I say or some of my perspective changes what his view is. Maybe what he says to me or what his feelings are change my perspective and view on things and make me the next morning get up and say, hey, I have based on what a friend of mine, a brother of mine that I value and love said, now I see things a little bit different now. Now I'm going to walk out of my house and have a different perspective on something, right? Maybe not, but you've got to be able to have those conversations. And they're hard conversations. Like we started off just kind of about something I seen in the news in my local area, like, holy shit, an airman was killed.
But it's good to have the conversation. But I think too, you have to remember that when we talk about the news all the time in the media, and the media is going to try and get you where you want to be, right? They want to give you the issue that's the most important. I mean, if you think about it right now, you saw that in Pensacola. When's the last time you saw something like that? Mainstream, upfront, in the news, on all the major media outlets. It's not there right now because they're focusing on the other thing that they want you to get into. So anything that they can do, and that's why I say it's not that simple, because they're trying to pick and choose where they're going to put you to make you get all those things. And then what happens is when you see this thing, you're like, oh, it's just like that thing. And then you start to group those together. To Scott's point, if all you've ever done is kind of see it and then see it again, the thing that I've struggled with sometimes is like, because I've never had to experience that, it's really hard to put yourself in someone's shoes and understand that. So you really need to, like you just said, Al, got to be able to sit down, like explain it to me. But I think what happens sometimes, in some cases, when people explain it and someone just goes, well, I don't think that's true, then that's where that stuff starts to go. Because if someone says they don't believe that, now I'm challenging what you believe, to Al, your point, right? As that challenge is now what's going to be, boom, we're going to go with that. So I think like it's debating, right? If you debate, then you're allowed to have an opinion. And because you have an opinion, you should be able to get it out. But you should both be able to either agree to disagree, or to Al's point, it's okay to be like, man, I never thought about it that way. I think I understand what you're saying, and I'm going to go for it that way. But we just don't do enough of that anymore because everybody wants to win.
There's also, and there's also, you don't even have to agree. I don't have to agree with Scott's political points or his beliefs. He don't have to agree with mine. But what we have to do is hear each other out, right, and agree to disagree sometimes. But walk away from the table saying my perception, my perspective on Scott and who he is hasn't changed a bit. If anything else, it's got me closer to him because I listen to him. Sometimes all people want you to do is listen.
Sure.
Right. We're all married, right? Sometimes somebody just wants to be heard, and they're not trying to win. They just want to be heard. It's not
I
just
think even over that, to me, I feel like this. I feel like, think about it like this. If somebody beat you, tore up your family, generations, everything else, and then one day somebody says, I think that's wrong, and let's start doing things different, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you're just supposed to say, oh, okay, we're doing stuff different now. Cool. There's never been an apology to what happened. It's kind of like we're just going to cover it up, and it's never happened, right? Because when you look at it, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you shape it, that slavery stuff was happening for a long time, and it was okay. It was part of what people did. It was legal. People were making money off of it, and they were and it happened for a long period of time. And then at some point, somebody was like, you know what? It's wrong. Maybe we need to stop doing what we're doing, and maybe we need to start giving them the right to do this and giving them the right to do that. But it's never been a real apology or a real way to show that, hey, we are sorry for what happened, and this is what we're doing. And that's why I think that people are salty. Or I'm salty.
No, get it. But here's my question, Scott. Who owes you the apology? Do I owe you the apology?
Come on,
no. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm asking, dude, because my skin is I'm melanin deficient. You know what I'm saying? I'm high yellow, light skin, baby. Do I owe? I wasn't a part of it. My family wasn't a part of it, right? So, but that would be my point. Like, who? The government, the president, like, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you.
You have to think about it.
My question is, like,
who led the charge when it was happening? Who made it okay? It wasn't you. It's not one person, right?
No.
But the government, the system, whoever, the government, the system, the people who make the rules, they never apologize. You look at Indians, right? They got casinos and reservations, right? You got other people. They got other things. We never got anything. Except for, you know what I mean? We're gonna give you Martin Luther King Day, right? On February, which is the shortest month of shortest month of all of the year, right? Black History Month is the shortest month of all the years. When you look at it, it's never been corrected, and it's never been right. And what happens is you put a blanket over something and think that it's okay, that's gone away. So what we're doing now is let's get rid of all that stuff in the history book so we can make it seem like it's never happened. If kids 20 years from now never seen it in the history books, then they would just assume that the world was okay and it's always been good, but it hasn't been, right? So when you see things like this that happen on TV and you see the repeatedness of people who are getting killed more often than others, it just kind of opens up that wound to say, damn, is it ever going to change? And that's a feeling that I think that for a Black person, African-American person, that's a feeling that you get because every time something like that happens, it opens it up. And if you haven't really felt that yourself, it's hard to explain. So we're not looking for somebody to say, let's have a conversation about it and we can get through it. It's never been a real apology to say, hey, we admit that this stuff was wrong and this is what we're going to do from it. It was just like, you know what, we're just going to move forward and hopefully things shovel out, right? And in my mind, growing up, I felt like people don't wear the hoods, you know what I mean, the white hoods and stuff anymore. They just transition, right? You have doctors that are Ku Klux Klans and police and fire departments and all these places, right? That high places that they don't wear the mask, but they're still there. Their beliefs are still there, and some of them are still motivatedly charged to still be a certain way. And it's not everybody, because I would tell you, I know genuinely good white, Hispanic, Asian, all people, there are good, but there's still bad out there, and they're still pushing that agenda. So it's still out there, you know what I mean? So I just say, well, we can go back on it, but I mean, it's
tough.
I
think it's a great conversation, but it's like you said, and it's crazy because some of those organizations, the Klan, even the Black Panther Party, like those organizations were started for good. In the original, were started for like good reasons. Like they just transitioned, like you said, into these horrible organizations, right? Just recently, it's 3 years ago, and it was crazy because I lived in Jacksonville with a lady named Mama J, who was like a legit, like original Black Panther Party member. Like she was very into it. And then I'm here, and the people were going to vote, and they had people like Black Panther, like the new Black Panther, they call them the new Black Panther Party, blocking voting steps, depending on who you were voting for. It's who they were. It's just the world has gotten so off kilter and so crazy that we feel like we have to do that. Because to your point, there's so much pin up history, and it goes back to, like you said, they're taking stuff out of textbooks, right? They're taking they're and I don't know if they're doing that because it's hard to talk about and they don't want to teach it, or they're doing it because they're trying to hide what the past was, right? So it's hard to see, like, are you doing that because you're like, we don't want to talk about this? The fact is, it's history. It's part of this country. It's history, and it should be taught. It should be discussed, and it shouldn't be just whitewashed and washed away, right? At the end of the day, it happened, right? But that's why I ask you, who, because, and I've been told that before, like, well, so I'm like, do I owe somebody an apology? Because to be completely frank and honest, I don't owe nobody shit. I never did anything wrong to hurt anybody. I treat everybody with respect. So I'm not apologizing. Like, the same thing with, like, what's going on in Israel and Gaza and, what happened to the Jews, all this stuff. Like, I feel your plight and I stand beside you and I'm with you, but I don't owe you anything, right? I wasn't a part of it. You know what I mean? That's why I asked, like, is it because let's fast forward. The slave party is a Democratic Party. If y'all don't know that, if whoever's watching this don't know that, go do some history. And I'm not saying
I've seen that.
If I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican,
I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm a patriot. But that is the slavery party. But 85% of minority voters vote for that party, right? So when we're talking about history and somebody, the Black community does deserve some sort of, I don't know if you want to call it reparations or you want to call it some sort of whatever, but the party that did this is the party that, and I got family, minority family members, obviously, like Hispanic, like, they're voting for this party who started this. They, in my opinion, from a political standpoint, they are the ones who should be like, we fucked up, instead of being like, you know what, we're going to hide it and we're going to cover it up. And as long as nobody sees that, we're not, you know what I mean? So there's a whole lot there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your sister said it. She's right. She probably is way smarter than I am, but like she said it originally. But the problem with the Republican Party too, and I typically vote Republican because of my Christian values, right? I'm not saying that you can't be a Christian and vote for somebody else, but for me, and I'm being talked about, I typically vote that way because, my Christian values, right? And we won't get into religion, but I love Jesus and I love the Bible.
Well, if we're getting into this, we can get into religion. So if you want to broach that subject, that's perfectly okay. I mean,
well, I'm
say the weird thing.
So for me, like, so it's more like, okay, my Christian background and my religious beliefs are, no, anti-abortion. I'm anti certain things. I'm pro Constitution, whether it's First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third, all the way down, right? So I typically vote that way, but it doesn't mean I'm like, oh, that's what I am. And they're all correct, because I feel like, it's like, to your sister's point, originally the Republican Party was the party who abolished slavery and worked to right a lot of the wrongs of society. But even then, now they've kind of shredded over into some territory that probably isn't beneficial to anybody, right? So that, that's kind of my point. Like, people, and I think a lot of people scream and yell and get angry about history, but my problem is, you have to do your research. You have to know what the history is. You have to spend time understanding the intricacies of and the details of actually what happened and who started what and how it got to where it was,
right?
And what was the beginning, the middle, and the end, and understand that from a if you really genuinely care and you want to be a part of the solution, you gotta educate yourself on the past. Like, the past happened. Like, you can't erase that, and I don't think we should. I think we should say, hey, this is exactly what happened. It was wrong. Let's keep saying that. But at the end of the day, I don't know if it'll ever happen, bro, because the world is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, where you start shouldn't be where you finish, right?
Amen. Yeah.
So when you look into that and say, well, back then they started this, that party there's a whole lot of things and a whole lot of years and a whole lot of laws and everything that's happened in between. So,
everything from Jim Crow to
My thought process on this is, if you take away the blue and the red and you just have good people who want to run the country, you make a decision based off of the good people.
100%.
And you can have a good person who is a Republican, and you can have a good person who's a Democrat. You can have a bad person who's a Democrat and a bad person who's a Republican. But people are going to be swayed if you're using what you historically have been voting as is your motivation to vote there. That means that you're just going to vote on that side, whether it's right or wrong, even if you know deep inside that this is the wrong person, because that's who I am, because I'm holding on to the fact that I'm either a Democrat or a Republican. I'm going to stay on this side of the fence no matter what. That in itself is wrong. That's not America.
Well, that goes back to being ignorant, Scott. And it's funny because I knew people that were like, I didn't vote for Barack Obama because he was black. And on the opposite side of that coin, I knew people who were like, I only voted for him because he was black. Because I asked somebody who told me I didn't vote for him because he's black. I said, okay, so you voted for whoever. I don't know who it was at the time. I was like, do you know any of what their platform is, what they stand for? Nope, I don't know because his color of his skin, I'm not voting for him. But if you would have done some research, you might have been like, man, he has what my interests are as an American citizen. Or the other person, it doesn't matter. But I knew people who were like, I only voted for him because he was black, or I didn't vote for him. And I was like, that is the problem right now with people who don't do their research and just vote blind. You're such a just say, just blindly vote because I call myself a Republican. So that, like, when it came, like, I'll be honest, I think I told me you had this conversation. I was like, originally when we had, I think it was Trump against Clinton. Because of my military background, there was no way. But unfortunately, like I think Josh Benny said it a minute ago, the two-party system is the problem. That two-party system is the problem. Because like you said, now we've got this election. Now we've got Trump again and Joe Biden. That's our option.
I want to interject. The two-party system is absolutely not the problem.
You don't think so?
No. There can never be a system that can be the problem. The people that run the system are the problem.
Okay, yeah.
So from the days of the Bible, when Cain killed Abel, that's when human interaction began, to where this begat that and that begat this, and everyone wants everything for themselves. So let me go back over some of this stuff. We started out with that police shooting video, and I looked at the police shooting video. It doesn't look good.
It's never good.
It doesn't look good for the officer, but
I tell you,
they stopped the video. I didn't get to see it, but hold on now. So the disagreement I think that I have with some of what y'all are saying is, even if someone did apologize for slavery, even if someone did apologize for the genocide that happens in the Middle East, even if someone did apologize for indentured servitude, drug cartels just killing off anybody they want to in South America, the genocide in Africa that I've witnessed, the genocide in Kosovo that I've witnessed, the Iraq and Afghan sectarian violence that I've deployed 7 times and seen. There's no apology that's going to do any good.
Fix it.
What we can fix it is by the example that the 4 of us set. We are doing this right now. We are changing the way America is. Now eventually we're going to get more and more people that are going to think like us. I was born in Corbin, Kentucky. I didn't know many black people until I moved to Jacksonville, Florida. When I moved to Jacksonville, Florida, somehow, before I even moved to Jacksonville, black people were my heroes. There was never anything bad said about black people. It was okay for this little white dude from Kentucky to have black heroes. So I've lived my entire 49 years of life with Michael Jordan being one of my heroes.
As many.
And as y'all know me, I get deep into my heroes. So Deion Sanders, Tiger Woods.
Yep.
And it was okay in my family for that. So at some point, we'll get to the point to where all the people that are running the parties, all the people that are running these campaigns, all the people that are trying to sell in the newsrooms conflict and destitute people, they want to put that on the TV, so that's all people see. You, like you said, you don't hear good news stories about good things going on by the news because that doesn't sell. People want to seek conflict because all that information is available to them now, and everybody thinks they know the right answer. So as soon as you say man, that's a pretty sky. No, it's not. Everyone disagrees. So there is no way that anybody could ever apologize for slavery. I couldn't imagine.
Right. Like at this
I
point,
couldn't imagine.
it's too much time has passed.
Yeah. What do you say? There's nothing that can be said
to fix it. Right. There's nothing you can say to fix it. To your point, Tom, you made some good, strong points, and I appreciate that, brother, because I like the way that you.
I was not prepared at the beginning. I was like, "What the fuck are we talking about?" Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yeah, I see Matt up there like, "Oh shit!" But like you say, and I say apology, not meaning that somebody can say, like one person can say, "Hey, all Black Americans, I'm sorry for what happened. Here goes $3,200 for being Black." Right? It's not that. It's just the feeling of that. Right? It's the feeling that you get the feeling that it was just kind of like, damn, man, you know what I mean? Like we're just supposed to just forget about that, but we still see it happening here, and we still see it happening here, and we still see it happening here. Is that feeling? And I'm not saying that only Black people have that feeling. There might be, you know what I'm saying? There are certain personas about every race of people, right?
White Jewish people are and you know
what I'm saying, that you have it. But then when you see things like football, right, and basketball, right, I know racist people who love football, but how could you love football when you see Black Mexicans and Black playing football and you'll root for them? If a Black guy scores a touchdown and you don't like Black people, are you not going to celebrate? Are you not going to wear that team jersey anymore? How dare me root for that? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a learned behavior, but I don't even think it's real. I think it's convenient when you're around a group of people who push it. It's cool, right? Because there's a lot of people who will tell you that they're not, but then when they get around a bunch of their friends, they are. And it doesn't even have to be just white. It's Black. Everybody. There's a lot of people who do it, right? Yeah. And they say that they're not one thing, but when they're around a group of their people that look like them, they sure act like it. You know what I mean? I've seen it. I've seen it when the election stuff started changing. I used to be in a recruiting office with people that I used to go to the school with side by side. We were friends that I thought go to the house and, you know what I'm saying, knew the kids and everything else. But as soon as this divide came in, this politic thing, I started seeing things and I started hearing things and words were coming across. And I'm like, wow, I never thought that person thought like that. That is so crazy. Like, it just made me feel a whole kind of way. Like, bro, I did not know that you felt so strong about that. But in the office when we were together, we were cool. You know what I mean?
You have to think though, sometimes that is not that person. You guys already said it.
Yeah, it's not.
If you're in this mass and you don't think you are a part of that camp anymore, the worst thing that you can do is say that you believe something else, because now you have to say that in front of the people that you've rolled with forever. And
right.
You're more worried about how they're going to feel about you at having your own opinion than you're going to do to be your own person.
Right.
And that's where we have the problem. And I think with a lot of this stuff, like take the thing that we're talking about right now, apologies should be made for things that happen that are horrible. But here's the reality. When you try to do all these things to like blatantly put out that you're trying to do something about the problem, right, the problem still exists, that's an insult. Yeah. It's no longer like you really care. You're insulting people that have had to go through that. And so I think a lot of times the best thing that you can do is just be kind. Just listen to somebody, listen to their point of view, let them tell you how they feel about it. Or do this, just go up to somebody and go, I don't understand how this works. Can you explain it to me? Because I have never had to go through that, or I've never seen that. So for all I would tell you is that's not true. But then I'm talking to someone that's like, really? Let me tell you about the 10 times it's happened to me. And so you have to make sure that you're open. And here's the other part. There's a lot of people that need to be ready and willing to hear some hard shit.
Absolutely.
You got to be willing to hear it and take it in and not react to it, because your experience and the things that you've done in life, if they're not that way, it's going to be very uncomfortable to hear some things sometimes. Yes. So it's the whole adage too of be careful what you ask. Don't ask a question you don't want the answer to.
Right.
What you do, I'm going to give you the answer. You know, we say that a lot about just little things.
Yeah.
I don't know why you asked me the question. If you didn't
want the answer, right?
Did you just ask it because you thought you needed to?
Yeah.
Or because you really wanted to know? And so I think that with stuff like this, the reason it's uncomfortable is because most people want to be on one side or the other.
Yep.
They don't want to understand another. And so it's hard to.
But you know me, Matt, as much stuff as I've been through and how I see it, how
Sure.
I deal with it is I say, I can't change the world, but I can change me. I am not what happened to the world then, because I'm still here. I woke up, I'm still alive. Every opportunity I get, man, I was at the airport Thursday. We were raining, we were stuck. I'm standing there by myself. People are looking at me like, look at this guy, right? I take that as an opportunity to go over. I put my hand around, hey man, how you doing, man? And I talk to people and they're like, what? And then you see the change, and we start talking about this and talking about that. And I without saying it, I'm like, I know he want to be like, man, I never really talked to a guy like you before. I haven't either. That's the reason why I came over and talked. And we talked for like 2 hours, and we had so many things in common. And I saw the change happen on both ends of us, right? Sure. Because I know that the easy thing to do would have been to look at him, he look at me, I'm different from you, you're different from me, we have nothing to talk about, and move on. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's going to come up, put my arm around you, whether you like it or not, and say, hey man, how you doing? I was in San Francisco with my wife and them when we were doing this 49ers thing. Man, you would have thought everybody in there was my cousin, because I talked to everybody.
I believe that.
I'm telling
100%.
you, I talked to everybody. Were there white, black? I met a guy, John, Asian guy. Man, I bumped into him. He's like, hey man, you keep bumping into me. I'm like, oh, we start talking. He gave me his number, man. I text him and say, hey John, how you doing? Took a picture. He's like, man, I don't know what it is, but you got a magnetic energy. And my wife is just sitting there like, look at him. Look at this guy just working the room. I'm like, listen, man, we're all here. Everybody's having a good time. This is not a thing about black, white, or anything. We're just going to have a good time, and we just do what we do. And that's how I cope with life. Right.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we're how we are, because
for sure
I could easily fall into the thing and say, you know what? I'm just going to hang around people that look like me. The white man is bad. You know what I mean? Everybody, even though the white man talks to me, he really deep down inside, he really doesn't, you know what I mean? Understand, you know what? The only way that this world is going to change is that every individual in the world has to look at themselves and be honest with themselves about who they are and start moving in the realm that they want to move in.
True. Well, and then Becky just brought up a point on the thing. Like, it all starts at home too, right? So like a lot of times what happens is when you grow up a certain way and you see that, when you go out into the world, right? Your parents are your example. So how you see them act sometimes is how it's going to be. And so when you go out, a lot of times we'll look at somebody and be like, that person's crazy. I can't believe they would do that. Oh my God, what's wrong with them? And you just got to be like, well, how are they raised? Maybe they need to be educated a little bit. Maybe you should sit down and talk, like you said, Scott. Maybe you should sit down and talk to them.
Yeah.
Ask them questions. Ask them why they feel that way. The most interesting thing right now is, in anything that happens today, you can ask 10 people on the street that think they have a belief why they feel that way. And they will not be able to tell you.
It's true.
At all. Like they wouldn't, they're just because. Well, because why? Like, where did you see it that made you feel that way? What did the person look like that you were saying, say that now you're like, oh, well, that's how I need to be because I feel like I look like them. And now I need to act like them as well. Right. And so now it's like, well, but, you know, and then a lot of times you just ask questions. Well, you know, a lot of issues. Well, just explain it to me.
Yeah.
Help me understand it. Like, I'm willing to change my perspective right now. I'm willing to change my viewpoint, and I'm willing to say that you're right and I'm wrong. Educate me. And they're
but here's the cold hard fact, Matt. It don't matter what color your skin is. One day we are, maybe someone's gonna be like, well, I don't believe that. I don't give a shit what you believe. I'm just gonna say what I believe. I don't give a damn if it hurts your feelings now. But one day we're all going to stand at the throne of judgment and be judged by the only one that actually absolutely matters, right? And you're going to have to, you can hide from, like Scott, like you said, people, get around you, they're cool, and then they go home and they're a whole different way. They can hide that shit from you, but you can't hide that from God. You can't hide that from God. Jesus, and God knows your heart. So one day we're all going to be standing up there, and we're going to be judged for the things that we did on earth, right? And you better hope that your heart ain't so full of hate that you don't get that ticket to that dance, right? You know
so this is the question, Al. What color is your heart?
My heart's same color as yours, bro.
There you go. So when you die, if you look at life, let's just
same color as yours, homie.
Let's just break it down simple, right? If you die and your skin is gone and your bones are in the ground and everything else, just your spirit is up there. What color is a spirit?
You ain't got to.
So if you just
I don't know.
everybody, if
Now,
everybody,
I'm gonna be now in heaven. I'm probably gonna be tall,
right?
and have long, luscious hair.
But you won't be able to see it. You're not going to have any hair.
No.
You won't have any hair. You're not going to have any legs. You're not going to have any of that stuff. You're not going to be walking around. Your spirit is just going to be free. And there is no color to spirit. So if everybody just understands that and stop thinking that you're going to die and you're going to wake up in this body that you used to have, and you're going to see all your aunties and uncles and cousins and all that stuff up there dancing around in heaven saying, see, we made it. That's not going to be the case. Your spirit's going there. This is not going. This is just.
You're right, because those white spirits, they still ain't gonna be able to dance real good. We don't have it. We don't have it rhythm, but you know what I'm saying. But
so I would ask you this:
yeah,
if I weren't black, or me not being black, would it change how this podcast was?
Nope.
Or if it was 3 black guys and 1 white guy,
nope,
would it change?
Not if it's the same 4 people.
Same mentality, right? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And that's all that matters to me is that doesn't matter. And so when I talk to people, as long as when people see me, that my color doesn't matter, then I'm okay with that, no matter how it goes. And when it comes to police, if police see people, if their color doesn't matter, I think it would change. And starting this conversation, I think that right now still is that what happens is in certain instances, not all of them, that people see color before they see the person, which changes the outcome of how things end up. Right?
Yeah.
Going to that point. And that's all. But to circle everything back and everybody who's listening, I never said, hello, everybody who's here. This is the Triple Threat Podcast. I'm DJ World T. You're in the building live with Matt Johnson, my man Al Hero, my man Ty Cobb. We came into some deep conversation. It wasn't planned. We didn't know it was going to happen, but it happened. And you guys are here with us, hearing it live. You know, feel free to put your comments in, say what you have to say, because everything needs to be heard in this point, but we're not trying to divide or separate anybody. We're just having a conversation that sometimes seems to be uncomfortable situation, but I'm comfortable having it because I love all of you, no matter what color you are, what creed you are, however you come. If you have something to offer that's of value, I'm here for it, and I'm glad that you guys are with us. So I did want to say that before we go into break, but it's a good conversation. I'm glad that we're having it, man.
And I want to give a shout out to Kevin Cassidy. I wore this shirt just for you, bro, because I know your mom's smoking hot. I just wanted you to be aware that it's already checked off my to-do list. I just wanted you to know, Kevin, it's done, bro. You can call me daddy anytime you want, big homie.
Yeah. But yeah, I love you guys, man. I'm glad that we, like you say, I think this is an example of having a conversation that's uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to end up in yelling and people fight it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be. You have to be mature enough to, like you said, listen and hear, right? Mm-hmm. Understand, think before you say something, and then you kind of figure things out. But man, we can do that on any topic, I believe. And that's the reason why I like this podcast, and hopefully it helps somebody. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I started off the day, my mood is just kind of being weird, man. I kind of like been off my thing a little bit. I can't figure out why. Like I'm like extra moody, and I'm weird, man. And I'm trying to shake it by like exercising and doing stuff, but my mind is like a little foggy to where like I'm just not feeling like the big high tizzle for shizzle dizzle. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because I'm not
bored.
I love you.
You should be bored, man.
I like Matt, okay, but yeah, for sure. So I feel you. It's been a weird week, bro. Like Ty kind of came in. It's not necessarily a bad week, but I started off by saying the same thing. Like I just feel like I'm in a kind of fell back into like that rut. I'm not getting up as early as I was. I'm just not. I've fallen into a kind of a crap, like a little bit of what I would consider like a crappy routine. Like I'm kind of just going through the motions. I gotta dust off shake the fog out of the head pretty much too. So I feel you, brother.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good time if you guys are in agreement for us to take a break. I'm gonna turn my fan on because I'm in here overheating. I don't know if you can see the sweat coming in on me, but we're gonna take a quick break.
You don't sweat, bro. You glisten. You know what I'm saying? We don't sweat. We glisten. You know what I'm saying?
Take a quick break and do what we do. Again, welcome everybody who's in. I appreciate everybody who come in. Whether you hear us today, if you hear us later on in the podcast, however you do it, man, we just appreciate you. Hope that we are able to give you something that you can take and learn from, at least learn who we are, right, as we learn who you are in this journey. But we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. This is a Triple Threat Bet podcast. I am your man, DJ Royalty. You have your man, Matt Johnson, Al Hero, and Ty Cobb in the building, and we will be back after these short messages.
Gear up in style wearing Got Your Six apparel. Every purchase makes a difference. It's more than just clothing, it's a statement of gratitude. Upgrade without breaking the bank. Discover cost-effective, high-quality clothing made in the USA. Each shirt is handcrafted by our team in the great state of Texas and shipped for free to your front door. Got Your Six is where quality meets purpose. We're a small veteran-owned business that takes pride in the mission and the value of our products. Join us in growing a community, supporting our heroes, veterans, and first responders by wearing a custom design.
I thought you'd never ask.
Visit sameflagsameoath.com and use the code TRIPLETHREAT for 10% off. Follow us on all social media platforms for any upcoming releases or events, and you can reach out to us with questions anytime. We are here to support our brothers and sisters.
Hello, MP World. My name is Mac Verdi, and I'm a former military police officer, served the 101st MP Company, a couple tours to Iraq, and I am now the founder of Veteran Mortgage Solutions. Veteran Mortgage Solutions is an all-military veteran loan officer team. We will help you with your VA home loan, we'll help you with refinancing, we'll even help you finding realtors in your area and save you money. Give me a call today. Let one MP help another MP. We are fully transparent, 100% great customer service, and very fair pricing. We do not charge you all these ridiculous fees everybody else charges you. Give us a call today, reach out to us. We are MP Regiment Gold Star sponsors, and we are proud to serve the MP Corps again. Have a wonderful day.
Spilling from my sippy cup, old McDonald farms horses. Toddlers rage like rude bosses. Old McDonald farms horses. Toddlers rage like rude bosses. I'll be throwing a tantrum, kicking, screaming, demanding. I'ma bite on your ankle, about to climb on the table. I'ma rip off the diaper, cause a toddler's a fighter. And if you try to pacify, I'll dump in my pants, leaving you in strife. And if you try to pacify, I'll dump in my pants, leaving you in strife. Heck no, I won't do what you tell me. Heck no, I won't do what you tell me. Heck no, I won't do what you tell me. Heck no, I won't do what you tell me. Love my mother suckers. Spilling from my sippy cup.
I got in trouble the first morning of boot camp, the first wake up. I was the first recruit in trouble. I wasn't even awake good. I didn't know what the hell was going on. He was mad because I had a boner. You know? Then banging a trash can like, get up and get out of bed. I just jumped up like, here we go. Son of a bitch. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, fuck it. I'll just stick it out there, I guess. Yeah. Dude was pissed. It's like he took offense to it, like I was doing it on purpose. Like, took him right out of his little prepared speech. You know? He's coming down the line like, today is day 1 of Marine Corps boot camp. Today we will begin to instill in you a sense of... What the fuck is this right here?
So we need to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
My bad, fellas. I just went back. I watched that shit right before I came on, like that. And then the story about the 16-year-old kid who was suspended in North Carolina because he was in the bathroom and he comes out and there's a word, the word alien is written on the board. He was like rating. He was like, are we talking about like real aliens or like illegal aliens? That's what we're getting it. And they were like, you're suspended. He got him for a hate crime. He was like, so his family's going to sue the school system. He's probably going to make a lot of money. But I was like, holy cow. Like, oh, man, damn. All the shit. Can you think back to the shit we said in school? Scott, Matt, Ty? Bro, I'm surprised all of us
Listen,
graduated.
you're lucky. We're all lucky.
Stuff,
Everybody,
social media was not around.
Everybody sitting here is lucky they didn't have Instagram and Facebook when we were younger. We would,
Right.
bro.
Doc Powell, just
all
to
those guys getting canceled right now because they're like, we found a whole bunch of crazy stuff that you said. Like,
bro, thank God. You didn't send your girlfriend like naked pics. You had to draw that shit. Like draw a picture of yourself. And like, here you go, girl. Like that's what
you
I
did
really
that.
Like. Yeah, bro. That was the OG D pics. You know what I'm saying?
Did you draw it to scale?
Hell no, bro. I made that shit look a little bit bigger. It made me look taller and made it just a little bit like, damn, to your knee. Yes, ma'am. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
So we're back. Everybody, we made it. We made it through course 1 of a heated. There was no need for no hot seat, bro. That was like the hot seat for real. It started off the hot seat and we got through it. We got through the fire. So
not my intention. I just asked the question. It was not my, like we said, we did not plan that. I just was like, I was like, damn, this is crazy.
You're always starting something, bro.
Yeah, that's okay. That's why we love you. That's why we keep you around.
Yeah.
If we needed to get interesting, somebody like, hey, Al, what do you think? Be like, well. Yeah. So I wanted to tell you guys, I got to go this past weekend and watch my daughter graduate from college. So again, congratulations to Sierra, Dr. Sierra Johnson. She got to walk across the stage. It was cool. She graduated in the gym they filmed Hoosiers in. If any of you get that reference, because I was waiting for Gene Hackman to walk out and start motivating everybody.
Start measuring the goals. It is a 10-foot goal.
But it was awesome. It was a really good ceremony. We got to hang out with Sierra and go see her walk across stage. It was really, really, really good. So that's what we did. And Ty, I know that you guys are getting ready for the same thing.
Well, that's actually where I was today. So we woke up at about 5 o'clock this morning and had a convoy out with me, two of my sons, one of my daughter, my ex-wife, her husband, my ex-wife's husband's parents. We all went to San Marcos to watch my daughter graduate from Texas State. So she graduated. It was awesome. Hey, what's up? And I forget where I was now. Oh, so it culminated with her jumping in the river there after she graduated. Yep. And then strangely enough, this is strange that we get on and we start talking about some of this stuff we're talking about. But as we're coming back, I'm talking to my oldest daughter, my 27-year-old, and we're talking about Christianity. We're talking about personal convictions. What are you convicted by from the Lord? What does he convict you to do? And a lot of the things that I'm convicted to do just happened to show up on this show. And like I said, it's not planned. I rarely tell the guys what videos I'm making. I rarely tell the guys what topics I want to talk about. Everybody brings their own stuff. So this is amazing that this is going like this. I mean, I had a great day. It was a great day. I got to see 4 of the 6 kids were there, and I actually got to see my other daughter, Tylee, and I didn't get to see my grandson. He was already asleep by the time I made it back. But man, it was a fun-filled day. And I literally walked up about 5 minutes before we started and had no idea what was going on. And then we hit go, and then we have this conversation. And right here, man, like I would tackle any issue with you 3, us 4. I know we can do it.
Yeah.
And it fulfills me every day to know that you guys got my back.
Oh yeah.
Got my 6.
There you go. For sure. For sure. Becky made a good point too. All of the kids in the world right now, for everything that they may do right or wrong, right, that we have an opinion on, we did get their ass with technology today. If your mom has Life 360, you are not able to like go to bars and all that stuff when you're in college and high school. Be like, what? I thought you were at Jimmy's house. Oh. And you can't leave your phone, right? Because if you leave your phone, then they can't get a hold of you. Dude, kids today got it so bad. I was thinking one day, like, what would happen if our parents knew half of the stuff or the places or whatever you did, right? And then every parent goes, we're not talking about that right now. That's not important. Like, what?
Bro, we had Life 360 and my kids, I don't know if it was Life, it was an app that you could, but I can see their text messages, their emails, like you can see everything. Like when they walk in the house, like it was crazy. And I remember like my son Mason, who's 17 now, and shout out to Mason. I know all your kids are graduating college. He's got his GED test on the 22nd. You know, doing big shit in the Hero House, right? GED, baby. But anyway,
good enough.
He comes in the room one night. He's like, "Hey, Alex and Austin aren't in their rooms." And I was like, I look at my phone, like their phones are in their rooms. They were down the street, and like, so I called like Austin's girlfriend at the time. Was like, "Hey," she's like, "Oh, I don't know where." He said, "Like, you need to call him. I know you do." And tell him he's got 10 minutes before it's a problem. Like we waited. I'm getting in the car and I see these two like walking as fast as they can to get up into the house. And all my wife says to me is like, just don't punch anybody in the face. Bro, I was backhanding kid. Alex is tall. I try to choke slam him. I've got him by his neck and I can't get him to go down. So like I foot sweep him. Like I'm just beating kids up in the front yard, bro. But yeah, that Life 360, I knew. I was like, these fools, they left their phones, man. Come on, bro. Like they put the pillows under the. You remember back in the day, you put the pillows under your.
But remember, that's like teenage.
I knew that trick.
Yeah, but that's teenage ingenuity. They're like, okay, we're sneaking out at 11. There's no reason my mom and dad would want to call me at 11. This is totally going to work. Just leave the phone in your room, then they'll think we're there, and they won't even know.
I gorilla glued their screens down. So like they were like, "What if there's a fire?" But you better hope you can cut that screen. You better hope you have enough manhood in you to get to that screen, or you're gonna burn up. You should have thought that before you snuck out. You know what I'm saying? Safety's not the priority anymore, buddy. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Yeah.
So me and Matt will be on the podcast next week, or no, the end of the month together.
2 weeks, yeah.
We got to find somewhere cool to do it. We're going to be up in Philadelphia for work up in Malvern.
We're gonna do it from the Rocky Balboa statue. Why not?
I heard a lot of homeless people be out there. I don't know about that.
That's a good guest to bring on and see their perspective on how things are going. Let's like do some interviews.
I'm gonna have to call the airline and see about shipping my weapon. Can I bring my weapon? Philadelphia's got some weird gun rules. I probably can't.
I know that you can't, because I know somebody that first responder actually that accidentally like it's the classic kid goes to MEPS, has a knife in his bag, and was like, I was hunting with my dad this weekend, right? At the airport, dude.
You can put in your check later. I'm going to take the.
No, it was in his carry-on. It went through the machine.
I took care of it. I got this Benchmade he gave me. I'm going to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to be safe, Matt. Or at least I'm going to be safe.
I'll be good.
Matt's birthday's 5/30.
Yeah, it is.
Your birthday's at the end of this month, Matt?
Yes, it is.
We'll be up in
It's actually the day of a podcast. Thanks, Becky, for telling everybody. I was going to try and keep that quiet because Becky knows birthdays are another day. Huh?
How young are you going to be?
How young am I going to be? Bro, hold on. I got to do math. 46.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to be in Philadelphia that day. But if you guys want to do something on the weekend, I'm sure Becky will help you plan it. But don't make it too big. We're not having like birthday parties. Yeah, thanks, Becky. I love you so much. Thanks for letting everybody know. I appreciate that. She's probably laughing right now.
You don't have but 3 friends. We're all on this podcast, so it'll be a small party. Won't be nobody there. You'll have to rent some friends. What do those people do? Like the flash mobs? She'll have to rent some of those people out to come over.
Yeah.
Time.
I'm just gonna ask Scott for him to bring all the people that he knows. Then it'll be a big party, and I'll be like, "Dang, I know all these people."
Just do it, brother.
And my daughter came in a minute ago, Scott, and was like, "Look at Scott's house. Oh my God." And I was like, "Yeah, that's not his actual house, but it looks very similar to She was like, "Oh my God, that's Scott's house." I'm like, "It's a back."
No,
She's like,
it's not.
I don't know. So my daughter was baptized. Again, just so everybody knows, it was a very proud papa moment. Like, you know, she's 10, so obviously I wasn't pushing her to do it because I'm like, you know, but she came home one day and was like, "I want to do it" or whatever. So she had to go sit with our pastor and like actually do like kind of an interview. And I like the fact that he was making sure she understood what she was doing, and this wasn't something like her parents were like, "You got to get," you know. But yeah, it was pretty cool. She was nervous as hell. Like we were in the back, and like her heart was like, because you know she got to go up on the stage in front of all these people, bro. She was like, "It's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it."
Did you get baptized the same time she did?
No, I was baptized years ago.
Oh, I was gonna say, I know where she was nervous. That you was in that water, and she had to get that water over.
I had feet in the water. They
said, "I'm going first. I got to go first.
Right.
This shit's gonna boil in a minute. I don't want to be in it."
Yeah,
it'll just evaporate when I stay in it.
Yeah. The church turned into a steam room all of a sudden. What happened?
Yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's funny, dude. Like, look, so Al, you're Baptist, right? So I was Baptist, but then converted to Catholic. But what I remember about Baptist church is it didn't matter, dude. We're not leaving this church until somebody comes up and accepts Jesus. So you would see all the time people are like,
so I'm not
waiting for that one person to get up so they can be like, "Oh, it's
so we're Assembly." So I grew up Baptist, and then me and my wife were members of Assembly of God when we were in Georgia. And then we got here and we had visited a bunch. But this church, it's a Baptist church, but it's not like what I thought it was going to be. Like our pastor, like he's younger, but he's like he's typical, like gets loud but like they play like contemporary. The music is really good. Like it's not what you would think, right? So it's way different than what I grew up in. Like
no building fun.
Oh yeah, it's always a building fun, bro. That's how we get down. You know what I'm saying? And they are building. I just see they broke ground, so I know it's legit. But yeah, so she was baptized, so it was pretty cool. My parents came in town for the baptism, so
yeah.
That's funny.
I'm not trying to steal Kenzie. It was Kenzie that got baptized.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to steal the thunder, but my oldest daughter Kenzie baptized my youngest daughter Cadence in the San Marcos River today. The same river they jump in, different spot. We did it before the graduation, but she did her public profession of Christ today. Got baptized in the river. Pretty cool.
My wife was baptized in the river here.
I think I have a picture somewhere. Give me a second.
She's been saved for a long time, but she got baptized. And here's the sad truth. Here's the worst part about it. So I didn't remember that Sunday she was getting baptized. And a buddy of mine, Sean DeWitt, called me. He was like, "Hey, bro, you feel like fishing on Sunday?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" April's like, "Hey, we just came off a work trip. I just got back in town on Friday." She was like, "Yeah, that's cool. I don't care if you go." She didn't have that look like I was messing up. I was like, "Oh, okay, shit." So I went fishing, bro. I had a great time. I was catching fish, bro. It was a great time. I came home. I'm like, you know, how was your day? Like they went to Chick-fil-A. They didn't go to Chick-fil-A. They ate somewhere, whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, how was your day? She's like, well, we went to church. Like, oh, how was church? She was like, Kenzie's like, Mom got baptized. I was like, my bad. Like I was thinking, the Lord, people were fishermen back in the Bible, so I was just doing what they did, bro. It's bad. I was like,
it's okay. It's okay. Jesus saw everything you did today.
Yeah, she don't say nothing, but I tell you what,
and it wasn't with me.
Like, I miss her baptism, bro. I was like, oh man, like, oh.
You should have asked her, like, did they live stream it? Because I could go back and watch the video. I mean,
she probably that's why we didn't catch as many fish because she was scaring them off in the river. That's the problem.
Al's in the background, like, man, there's a lot of people out here singing today. What's going on?
Sunday is Mother's Day, Becky. You're right, and I've already bought her a gift. And she ain't even my mama. You know what I'm saying? My mom's stuff is already in the mail. Her mom's stuff's in the mail, and I ordered her something online, so it's pretty cool. Well, from the kids. My daughter gets an allowance, so she's already trying to hustle me. Like, I was like, well, this thing costs like $75. You just give me. She is $25 a week. I'm like, you give me, $10. She was like, wait a minute. Like, what if I just give you $5? I'm like, damn. Hey, she's hustling. Well, $5. would be. I'm like, I can do the math, not as good as you, but I can do math.
You know, my favorite is when you're growing up and you got Mother's Day or birthdays, Christmas, whatever, and your kids are like, all right, I want to go buy mom this. I'm like, you want to buy mom that? Like, yeah, it's no big deal. This is how much it is. You're like, okay, you're gonna buy mom that, and then like when you get in, they're all like, look what I got you, you know, and you're like, goodness gracious. And every time they talk you into getting the thing, right? But it's funny that kids are going to negotiate for that. But then if they get allowance and you're like, but it's your mom, you should really you should buy it. They're like, I think we're gonna have to go look on a different aisle real quick, find something a little bit cheaper.
No, hey, shout out to all the moms on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
And future moms, babies, mamas that don't know their baby daddy. Shout out to you too. All the moms that aren't with us, right? Some people moms aren't with them. You know, shout out heavenly happy Mother's Day to all the moms out here, right? For sure. So
yeah, I did want to say that happy Mother's Day, because by the time that we get to the next podcast, it'll have been too late. So to everyone who's a mom out there, like Al said, mom, grandmother, great grandmother, young moms, mom is a hard job. I'm gonna just tell you, there's so much that is asked of the moms. So that is a very well-deserved day for you guys. I hope that you get some kind of rest and relaxation and some sense of feeling of joy. I want to personally wish my mother a happy Mother's Day. I'm sure she probably listens to the podcast, or if she listens to it later, at least she heard me say happy Mother's Day. To my wife, she's a great mother. So happy Mother's Day to her, and her mom is amazing. And happy Mother's Day to her as well. And all of the mothers, you know who you are. We appreciate you. And I would just say Mother's Day and Father's Day have two totally different meanings. But we'll talk about that later. Because when you look at the scale, Mother's Day is up there high. When you look at Father's Day, that stuff's on the bottom. When I was talking to my cousins today, and they say, being a dad, being a father, being a man, you're never going to know how much you were appreciated until you die. That's when somebody's going to stand up and say, you know what, that guy, Ty or Scott or whoever it was, he's a good guy. I didn't ever understand why he did things the way, but now that he's gone and he's not here,
we miss him.
You're really seeing it really makes sense. So, yeah, but mom, that makes sense all the time. But for us, it's Father's Day.
Whether your mom works in an office or slides down a greasy pole, shout out to all the moms that are making that dollar to support their kids, right? Moms working 2 jobs, big shout out to all the moms, because for sure, there's a lot of, and then shout out to all the deadbeat moms who don't want their baby daddies and husbands and shit in the picture. Even shout out to you that are deadbeats who don't want us involved. We love you too, and you're a great mom, almost.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day to Becky's mom, my mom. Happy Mother's Day. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for everything you do. You guys hold it down every day. So thank you. Yeah. Love you guys.
Shout out to Kevin Cash's mom. I'll come by later. Love you.
Shout out to my wife, Sarah. Happy Mother's Day on this weekend. Shout out to my mom who's in heaven, and hopefully. And then shout out to my daughter, Tyler, who is a mother, and she's doing the damn thing right now. So
nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the moms, and shout out to Susan Sandlin, who is a mom that raised me. Was a Navy Chief Jimmy Sandlin's wife. She basically raised me a lot during high school because my mother worked 3 to 11 shift as a nurse. So shout out to Susan Sandlin for Mother's Day as well.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Sister Denise, you're on this podcast. Happy Mother's Day to you. I got to tell you that. I'll tell you on Mother's Day too, but happy Mother's Day. And every mother who's in here with us, happy Mother's Day to you. I just wanted you to hear it, right? Because a lot of times now we got technology. We'll text it. Happy Mother's Day. It'd be like a little thing, but sometimes it's just good to hear it. Happy Mother's Day. We love you and we appreciate you. From the Triple Threat Vet Podcast to you. Yeah. Hey, I wanted to run something by you guys real quick. As we come to the close, just I saw something.
If it burns when you pee, it's
no. Yeah. So just we talk a lot about mental health and all those kind of things. And I saw something last night that made me really look at things a lot different. And what was said was, you really only have now. That's it. You don't even have 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes. You don't have it yet. So you can't claim something that you don't have. And what you had is over. Yesterday is gone, right? Yesterday is gone. You can't bring it back. It's nothing, right? We can't control time. You can't stop it. It's going to keep going whether we're here, whether or not. You only have now. Life is truly about moments, and it's about being in the moment. So I just want to do a little test, and I want all of you guys to do it with me while you're here. It says, take a moment. And since this is the only moment we have, you have bills due, payments for somebody's looking for something tomorrow, payments, all this kind of stuff that we're worried about tomorrow. But how can we worry about it when we haven't seen it yet? It's not here. We only have now. So right now, in this moment, I want everybody just to smile and just be appreciative about being alive in this moment. Let's just try it. Let's just see if it makes you feel good. Just the biggest smile that you have, and just say, I'm thankful for being in this moment. Let's just do it.
I'm thankful for being in this moment.
Al, your Wi-Fi is short. You didn't say it. I need to see your smile. I need to see your smile.
He is smiling.
I need to see it. There you go. See how you did that? It just made you feel better. You did 3 times. But really, tomorrow's not promised, man. You can go to sleep and not make it. You wouldn't know that you didn't make it because you didn't make it. Right? But you have right now. So I challenge everybody that no matter what it is that you're going through in your life, just understand that right now you are here. Just forget about all the people that you owe, all the stress that you have, anything that went wrong. You can't fix it because it's already went wrong. You can try to stress yourself out about how's this going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen? Don't worry about it. Right now, be appreciative. You being here in the moment, the people that you have around you that are still here, who also had the opportunity to open up their eyes, because every single day there are hundreds of thousands of people who lose that time forever. So I want you just to be every day, just be happy with being in the moment and being here at this time, because you have stamped a place in time that a lot of people never got a chance to get, right? So just be appreciative of it, because it's easy to worry. It's easy to get down. I do it. I've heard my brothers do it. Say, you know what? I got this going on, and then I got it. So I'm gonna use you for example, Matt. Not because I'm picking on you, just because I love you. Sometimes I hear you say, I got these shirts, and I got this to do, and then I got this, and the job, and I got this, and I got this, and it just puts a whole bucket of worry on you, because you're trying to get in your mind to figure out, how am I going to tackle all of these things? Mm-hmm. So you just get yourself in a slump. I just did it just right before I got on here. I got to get up early in the morning and go do something, and then I got to DJ, and then I got to go down here, and you're thinking about traffic, and you're thinking about all the stuff. Doesn't matter. You'll get there when you get there, and when you get there, be happy that you got there, because there's a lot of people who will never have a chance to get there. So live in the moment. Just try to live in the moment. That's my message for today. Yeah. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. And I'm happy that each and every one of you guys are here in this moment, in this day, in time and space with us. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. There are some things that are never going to make it. Like, for instance, Colorado Buffaloes ever winning a national championship. Like, there's one thing that's never going to happen. So, be happy in the moment just to be able to play the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna be happy when you're in that moment, when you're like, oh, it's gonna happen.
Hey, they'll get there, just not with you.
Yeah, I just hope that I'm alive to see it, and when the moment happens, I'm gonna be happy in the moment.
You're gonna be like the Cubs. You're gonna be like the Cubs fans, Scott. Like the guy that had at the game who was like 900 years old. They're like, they finally made it. Like right before this guy died. That's gonna be you, bro.
Look at that. Was that number one?
Yeah, so we're coming up on 1 year in the podcast game.
Damn.
So 27 June, or actually the week before that, will be our 52nd episode. So hopefully,
season 2 is coming soon. Don't worry, we don't take huge breaks like Hollywood. Season 2 is going to start right after season 1 ends. No worries.
Yeah,
no cliffhangers from us.
Bro, we're gonna be like the damn Law and Order SVU, like on season 79. Bro, we're gonna be here for a long time.
Yeah,
yeah. Hopefully, you'll get better internet before the next season.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I don't
I'm
know.
gonna have to send ET over to Al's house, man, so he can phone in.
ET phone home.
You know
And then
what-
I made this slide for my daughter, so I got to show it. So happy Teachers Appreciation Week again for Tylee, Sam Houston class of 2021, and then happy graduation today for Cadence, Texas class of 2024 journalism. So she's moving to Waco to be a journalist at ABC affiliate there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Super proud of her.
BJ graduates this year, man. I'm excited about that. I have to
Uh-oh.
go to Tennessee, so I will be happy to be in that moment. If God allows me to get to that moment to share with him, that will be a happy moment for me for sure. Absolutely. What you got? Oh, I thought something was coming up. I heard some music. I didn't know what was going on. Oh,
No, I heard you say a second ago we're about to get out of here, so I figured you were done.
oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else that we need to put out? I think I gave it out to you guys. This has been another episode of the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. I'm happy that you guys came in with us. We had some good talk. Like I said, this is all live, man. It's not planned. We didn't write it down. It came off the dome when it came, and you guys got it raw, uncut, just the way it came. That's why we're special. That's why you come in. That's why we're here, right? So if you have somebody who's sharing this moment with you that you really love, whether it's your kids, your wife, your dog, dogs especially, because dogs live half the life that we live, right? We live 7 times longer than they do. So they're always happy to see you and always happy to be a part of your life. And if you think about how they see things, that's why they're always happy to see you. Because their time is limited. Everybody's time is limited. But we're here now. You are here now. And thank you. And I hope that we see you next week. I hope that you come back. If you don't, this is what I need you to do. I need you to let somebody know who we are, where we are, and how they can find us. Tell them that they need to be here next week, right? I need you to subscribe, like, follow, do all the things. Tell 10 people to come. We want to have a party. Bring everybody in to the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. Let's have a big party because we're live, man. We're doing this with you guys. So there's enough room for everyone. So tell everyone that you know that this is where they need to be on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. I'm going to bring my guys back in so they can say their last words. But my last words to you are, get up and be there tomorrow. Live in the moment. Do something to improve yourself. And I'm going to see you again next week. Your man DJ Raw T's out of here. Matt J, Big Dog, what you got for the people, man?
So it's always good to be on with you guys. As always, not running in like a couple minutes before like Ty and I did this and last week, but it was good conversation. I'm glad that we can do stuff like that, and I'm glad that people can see that you're able to have tough conversations and make it feel somewhat like that's how it should be done, right? That's how it should be done. But I do want to plug, we're still doing our headstones for heroes here in Katy, Texas. So if you go to the website, sameflagsameoath.com, we have a Headstones for Heroes page on there. $10 t-shirts. We're trying to help get some headstones for veterans that are buried so that everybody can help celebrate the service they gave to our country to keep us free. New designs going on the website all the time. If you have any questions, you need a design, you need some work done, reach out to us. You can reach us at the website, sameflagsameoath.com, and we'll see you guys next week.
My man. Oh, hero, what you got up in the spot? Hey,
I got nothing today. Just again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And then, like I always say, right? Don't sweat the petty stuff, pet the sweaty stuff, right? Keep grinding, keep pushing forward. So, love everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
my man. Oh, here we go. It's time to wax poetic with my man Ty. One time. That's the guy. He's fly. Let's call him Ty. What's up?
All right, so today got up early in the morning, had an all-day thing. It was hot as hell outside. We were running around inside a stadium, running from this place to that place. I actually had a pretty bad day. I was not feeling happy. I was not having a good day. But my wife and I even had an argument inside that arena because of where I wanted to sit. And it was just because I was tired and I didn't feel like walking anymore. And I wanted to sit down. So our groups got separated, and that causes some issues. But we got through it. And then as emotionally drained as I was, I walked into this room and saw y'all in there and immediately felt better, right? And then we get on the show and we start talking about some things. We start talking about some things that really make you think and really you feel in your heart. So the fact that I can share this with you guys every week means everything to me. Thanks for filling my cup today. And again, to my wife, Sarah, who puts up with me every day. Happy Mother's Day. And I love you very much. And I'm sorry for today.
Oh, my man. Well, there you have it. That was a crew. And you know what we do? We're out. I'm going to tell you, man, I'm not just telling you this just to say it. I love you guys, man. And I am truly grateful for you guys tuning in, listening to us yap and do all this stuff. You don't have to. You can be anywhere in the world that you want to be. But you chose to be here with us. And for that, I am truly grateful, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I challenge you guys to come back. I challenge you guys to be better. I want you to be great. And let's see you guys again next week. All right? I'm DJ World T. This is the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. We out of here. Peace.